also based on the hadith of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam itself. So compilation of hadith is also sunnah. Tadweenul hadith, kitabatul hadith. Tadweenul hadith is sunnah. Transcribing hadith, writing down the hadith, collecting hadith, compilation of hadith. This act which was performed by Aimma itself is sunnah. You may say, how? Because I have already explained, sunnah does not mean just his own Holy Prophet's act. Sunnah comprises his acts, his commandments, his speeches, his instructions, and his tacit approvals. So whatever he uttered, whatever he ordered, whatever he said, whatever he instructed, whatever he commanded, that is sunnah and that is hadith. Whatever he performed, whatever he acted, whatever he practiced, that is sunnah and hadith. And whatever some other person did in front of him, whatever some other person performed in front of him, whatever any act some other person performed in his meeting, in his presence, he saw it and he remained silent. So through this tacit approval, it also became his sunnah. So Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered to write down his hadith. He said, "Qayyidul ilma bil kitab." So it became sunnah of Holy Prophet. I am referring to the thoughts and ideas of those people who just want to get rid of authoritativeness of hadith just on the basis of this wrong conception that this is a thing which was done centuries after the death of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No, this was done in the presence of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, under his own instruction, under his own supervision. And there were many companions who had prepared their own sahaif. Sayyidina Ali, it comes in Sahih Bukhari. In Sahih Bukhari, Kitabul Ilm. Somebody asked Sayyidina Ali, do you have some compiled knowledge? Do you have anything, any booklet or any book with you which contains ilm? He said, yes. He said, this is a sahifa which contains three things. This comes in Kitabul Ilm, Jami' as-Sahih al-Bukhari. Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu ta'ala is stating, he showed his own book which he had written, which he had transcribed, said, this is my book, my sahifa, Sahifa Sayyidina Ali. And it contains three kinds of knowledge. How many kinds? Number one, Kitabullah. One. Number two, whatever I heard from Holy Prophet is hadith. And number three, he says, and the faham, the reasoning and understanding which I derived from Quran and Sunnah. Or kama qal. So he said that this book contains three sources of knowledge: Quran and Sunnah of Holy Prophet and faham. And this fahm was al-fiqh. So this hadith becomes the basis of the three basic sources of Sharia. Three basic sources of Sharia. Fahm, which I derived from Quran, text of Quran and Sunnah. So Quran became the first source of the ahkam of Sharia. Sunnah and hadith became the second source of ahkam of Sharia. And the word fahm, which I derived from Quran and Sunnah through logical deduction, through reasoning, through my understanding, that became the basis of al-fiqh and basis of ijtihad. And through this source in the light of Quran and Sunnah, al-fiqh went on developing. So al-fiqh itself is Sunnah. So the basic thing which I wanted to explain, that compilation, collection and compilation of hadith is sunnah of Holy Prophet, because he himself commanded for that. In the same way, the Usulul Hadith is also Sunnah of Holy Prophet, because he himself said that don't allow anybody to tell lie about me. This became the basis of Usulul Hadith. That's why the great A'immah, Tabi'een, after Sahaba, Tabi'een and Tabu Tabi'een, all these great scholars, they established the science of Isnad. And this was a branch of science of Hadith. And science of Isnad means science of the chain of transmitters. And they said, as reported by Imam Muhammad bin Sirin, one of the great successors, Tabi'een, and related by Imam Muslim in Muqaddimah of Al-Jami As-Sahih al-Muslim, Imam Muhammad bin Sirin stated, قال إن هذا العلم أي علم الإسناد. Because Imam Muslim has brought a chapter here, بيان أن الإسناد من الدين. This is Imam Muslim saying, أن الإسناد من الدين. Isnad, the chain of transmissions, this itself is deen, and this is a part of deen. And anna riwayah la takuna illa an thiqat, and the transmission should only be through the trustworthy and reliable people, transmitters. So under this chapter, Imam Muslim quotes, inna hadha al-ilma, this science is a part of deen. فَانْظُرُوا أَمَّنْ تَأْخُذُونَ دِينَكُمْ. Now this is very important. He has not said here that the text, a very important nukta, a point. Imam Ibn Sirin has not stated, and Imam Muslim has not reported, that just the text of hadith is deen. Because the text of hadith is particularly only the subject which was given to the Ummah by Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and not the chain of transmitters. Holy Prophet did not give the chain of transmitters to us. This is a chain, this is a series of various reliable people who just transmitted the sayings of Holy Prophet to us, who reported and related the acts and practices and approvals of Holy Prophet to us. They are the conveyors, they were the communicators, they were the transmitters, they were the reporters, they were the relators. What was being transmitted by them? The teachings of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, are hadith. So common sense says that Imam Ibn Sirin would have said that the text of hadith is deen, because this is in fact what has been stated by Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is deen. But Imam Ibn Sirin has not said this thing. And same is reported by Imam Abdullah bin Mubarak and many others. The great Tabi'i stated, not the text. Text of course is deen. The text of course it is deen. It is sunnah. It is the second fundamental source of deen. But Imam Ibn Sirin is saying that the chain of transmitter, this is deen. This is part of deen. And what is the chain of transmitter? Chain of transmitter consists of certain personalities and not the saying of Holy Prophet. Chain of transmitters does not consist of the act of Holy Prophet. Chain of narrators, the isnad, does not consist of the practices and the speeches and the approvals of Holy Prophet. Chain of narrator is a series of certain persons, personalities,